Rebrand. What's up, everybody? This is season 3, episode 3. Episode 2 coming out soon. Hasn't came out. We've been going through a few changes, and it's been a little bit of delay since first episode, but we're back, and this is an exciting one. This is a first. This is the most guests we've had at a episode ever. So we'll start with the usuals here real quick.
Actually, we did have
Oh, you're right.
When we had
Our
rebrand.
unscripted. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So in
season 1 or 2?
2.
Yeah.
That was
That was 2. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I wasn't there. Yeah.
in a more studio setting, this is the most guest. It's gonna get warm in here because it's a small room and a lot of bodies, but we're in for it. So Javier here, and then we've got our guest John, and I'll let Andy introduce him here in a little bit. Then we've got the usuals, our
How you
boys,
doing, guys?
Harrison and Andy.
We haven't left the couch. We've just been
Since
we've
last
been here since last time. Yeah.
And then we got some. I guess are you guys gonna be audience? Is that what we're saying? We got some audience guests
we
here.
got
So
some audience guests.
you
right there.
guys introduce yourselves. Go. I think the mic will pick it up.
I'm Brian. I'm Clay. And I'm Jason. I'm Juan.
That's what's up.
Oh,
So let's get started. I'll give it to Andy just because he's gonna introduce our guest, and I'm making sure I've got all the cameras. Yep, let's go.
Yeah, man. So we have John Kennedy with us here today. So I'm a worship pastor at Mount Auburn Church on the south side of Indianapolis and Greenwood. And John is our sound tech at Mount Auburn. And he's been a great addition. God has blessed us with him. But he's so much more than that. He's become a great brother in Christ.
That's awesome.
And he has a fantastic story. You guys are going to be so blessed by this today, and so don't miss out on this. Don't turn it off. Hit the subscribe button, and because you don't want to miss out. So yeah, it's good to have you, John.
Thank you.
So you want to kick off?
Yeah.
Go right
and
into
I
it?
think we know. I mean, John was saying he's listened to some of our podcasts, which is really cool and encouraging.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of gets the culture of Rebrand and how we do things here. It's unscripted. Whatever you want to put out there, you can be as transparent, as vulnerable as you want. We value the gift of transparency and vulnerability, but we definitely don't demand it. You can't demand a gift.
That's right.
It's something that's freely given. So
And at the end of the day, we got the power of the button anyway. So
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we'll
yes.
edit. We'll take you out of the picture. So what? I got something. So after you heard all of our podcasts and how messed up we are, and you still decide to come over here.
Oh.
So thank you for your courage, and thanks for what you're doing. And I can't wait to hear what God's done in your life.
So just a quick little backstory. When we started this season, we're like, man, we need to have more guests.
Yeah.
You know, we everybody's heard most of our story. We need to hear, some other stories. And so John was the first person I thought of.
That's awesome.
Because, we've been getting to know each other, and I've gotten little bits and pieces of his story, and then he blew my mind. It was just like a week ago, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
That's awesome.
We already, had plans to have him on, and so, so
Awesome.
it's very good.
John,
Very
can
good.
you just give us some basic info, name,
Yeah.
age, and then from there, take us to your story.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Well, first of all, I would like to say I would love that rebrand T-shirt. I would love it.
All right,
We gotta get him
you're
one.
gonna
Is
get one
there
now.
any I can
Yeah.
get?
What size you wear, man?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a small guy.
Yeah, we only have one size, so
Yeah.
One size
But
fits
yeah,
all.
so my name is John Kennedy. Was a lot of people like coming here to United States as from different culture, different part of the
Where are you
world.
from?
I'm from Asia.
Okay.
Like Myanmar, specifically Chin State,
okay.
part of the Myanmar.
Okay.
So towards the southeast side of the Myanmar. I'm actually from like small town in Chin State. It's like barely 1,000 people, like maybe
Wow.
500 total.
What's it called? What's the name of the town?
It's the town of the name is called Lojeda. And if you look that up on Google, it's like Locheita. That's the town of my name.
Yeah.
And I was actually born in like inside a home, right?
Yeah.
We don't have hospital. We don't have we don't have anything, like no medication access or anything. So coming from that position to Malaysia, I came to Malaysia. I'm sure some of you guys heard about it. I lived there like 3 years, and then I came here in 2014. Grew up here. Started from 5th grade. A lot of challenges.
What brought you guys here? Your family?
Yeah, my dad was in Malaysia 12 years prior to us going to Malaysia, me and my mom. But yeah, a lot of people ask me, how did you get the name? You know, that's the only name that I had. I promise.
The president,
I don't
John
cheat.
Kennedy.
Yeah, I know. I don't cheat. A lot of people ask me, is there any other name that we can call you? Like, do you have any Asian name? You know, I don't have Asian name. Asian is not language. It's not a name. But
what do you guys speak?
I speak Mara.
Okay.
So I speak Mara. I'm 19 years old. Just recently got married.
Oh, congrats, bro.
Last year. Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I feel bad for you. No.
I feel it. I don't blame you. There's a lot of things going on.
No.
But above all that, always try to make Jesus as my Lord. Every walk of the way. Without him, I wouldn't be here till today. I like myself will be here, but like spiritually, I wouldn't be here without him. Nothing would like let me do things that I do right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm here with my also my mom, my dad, and my little brother. So, but yeah, later you guys can hear tons of other stories that you guys are not expecting. It's amazing.
Wow.
So good to meet you guys all.
No, it's great. It's great.
When you first came to America, where did you go first?
Well, I was in Maryland.
Maryland,
so
right.
I arrived in Maryland. Well, I actually arrived in
Nice and warm over there.
Yeah, JFK.
The airport.
The airport, yeah. From there, we had a long trip to Maryland. But yeah, that's where I grew up pretty much.
Can I ask you, so you just got married. Where'd you guys meet? What's your wife's name?
Same, Maryland. Her name is Heavenly.
Heavenly?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey,
So
also,
tell them the rest of the name, though.
Heavenly Grace.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just want to, I am for this ATEM Mini is messing me up. So as you guys are watching this on YouTube, sometimes the wrong person is on the screen. So forgive me. This is our second time.
We're praying for a tech.
Last time we had 2 cameras and we were good. Yeah. This time it's 3 and I'm all messed up over here. But Heavenly, that's awesome. How long have you guys been married for?
Almost a year. March 25th will be our anniversary.
Congrats.
Congrats,
bro.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That was great. So, real quick, and I'm not going to take a bunch of time. I just want to preface it a little bit because it's so much of a God thing that He is where He is. And we were just talking the other night because when I was looking for a sound tech, I had a good guy. Who was a Haitian brother and very gifted, and he had to end up leaving. It was on good terms, but so I'm praying. Okay, God, I need you to, send me somebody that can help fulfill this role and can just take it and run with it because I've got pastors have other things to do.
Yeah,
And so John came, and so we put out like a thing on Facebook, and I think you saw it through like Messenger or something like that, which he was telling me, he was like, I never look at that. I never see things like that. And then he told me, he was like, well, I thought about before, because he doesn't live far from the church. He's like, I drive by the church, and I always thought about coming in to see if they needed help as a sound tech. He's like, but I didn't want to come in, and they'd see this little Asian guy come in and wonder. But so actually, in full transparency, like I had 2 really strong candidates, and so he was one, and I had another guy, and I ended up going with the other guy only because he had more years of experience. Well, long story short, the guy didn't work out, and so I called John back. I'm like, dude,
that's awesome.
Still open if you still want, still want to do it. And, of course he accepted and God took it from there. But just how God orchestrates things, it was such a blind side, but it's been such a blessing. So I just wanted to share that because, it's
God never has coincidences.
No.
Sometimes we are the ones that especially as leaders or people, we think this is the right person, or we choose or confuse ourselves with who we think because they might have this or that. But God never makes a mistake, so
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
always there. He knows which one is the right person. So
Yeah, I would also say he works in the ways that are like only known to himself,
Mm.
that we're not aware
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
I just want to put out it because I think I've said it to Andrew as well, that we don't know what his plans are, but it's only known to himself. And then after he approve of it, he's gonna let us know, and then we're like, oh wow, okay, that
Yeah.
was his plan. And
Yeah.
then we start to appreciate it, So
Absolutely.
I'd like to just point it.
That's awesome. As you were sharing your story, I was thinking of going back to Proverbs last year, something God just made me aware of and reminded me of something my dad preached about. Man makes plans, but God establishes his steps, right?
Sir.
Amen.
And then just recently, this passage has been in my life, that God is the one that does exceedingly abundantly more than that we can ask or imagine.
Think or imagine.
Right?
Yeah.
So we
There you go.
we ask this, imagine this, but then God's like, no, I've got better. But also, I'm going to ask and demand more of you than you're willing to give.
tell me
So,
about it.
but John, can you, wherever you want to go in your life story, can you just tell us? I think just whatever's on your heart, whatever you want to share.
Yeah.
And your walk with Jesus, or even before, how you came to Jesus. I think you've told us a little bit of background, which is pretty cool and awesome. I was excited before this even, like as soon as Andy said, I was like, this guy,
Yeah.
his name is John Kennedy. He's cool.
Yeah.
I don't even care. So, bro, it's yours, bro. We want to listen. Well, obviously it's a conversation, but we want to hear you and just tell us wherever you want to start.
Yeah, sure. If you wanna stop me anywhere in between, go for it.
We'll stop
right?
you. Don't worry.
But I think it makes sense to start from the beginning. As a kid, like I wasn't even sure like the proper years that I was born. Like that's the situation that we were on, right? Back in Burma, where I was from, because we were always in this oppression of the military, which is the reason why a lot of our parents had to go to Malaysia just to work and get away from that chaos, because the army, the military would like come to our villages, like the towns, and take people to make them forced labor, like let them carry their equipment and stuff to like miles and miles of the way. So my dad was tired of it. Obviously my dad was one of the ones that's got tired of it. My dad has done it so much. My dad was actually a boatman, and where I'm from, and he made like pretty good living from it. But
Wow.
it wasn't safe. He could get killed anytime. We could have get killed anytime. That was the situation that we're in. So coming from there, again, my town is 100% Christians. There's no other religion.
Imagine that.
The only savior we know is Jesus.
Wow.
And so, that like even me that time, I wasn't reborn. I didn't have as my savior anything, but I know culturally that was what we're accustomed to. But we kind of go along with the life, and my mom was. Our family got something going on with, like, I was too young to kind of understand, but my mom was in a different city in part of the Indias. She sell like some of the like the goods that we make in a like garden, like like chilies and all that stuff to make a little bit of money. So after 2011, that's when we come to Malaysia. I didn't know much. Malaysia is when I started actually playing music. I started playing guitars and keys and stuff. But when I got here, I mean, there was just so much freedom that I can do compared to where I was from. So, I started turning away from my culture. But when you do that, it's a mistake. When I started disobeying my parents, started doing things the way I want, not listening to my dad, not listening to my mom, not listening to my brothers, it's a huge mistake. So I would like to encourage everybody, listen to your mom and your dad.
So it was a culture change.
Yeah,
for you.
Huge culture change.
Huge shock,
that
yeah.
I like when I got here, I heard things that I shouldn't hear. Right, like child protective services or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I could do whatever. I started doing things that when like friends would call me like, hey, let's go over here, do this, like marijuana, drinks, go hang out or do things like lust for our age, like girls,
Yeah.
right? Let's go
Yeah.
over here, do this, let's do this. Let's skip school, let's skip class, let's not
Yeah.
go to church, right? But in my heart, I always knew that was wrong, but
Mm.
I still had to follow on because of my friends that were here longer than me, right? They knew better. In my heart, like they knew better than me. Like, what am I to say no, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, my heart, deep down my heart, there's always a spark about Jesus. Say, hey, you got different story to tell. Like, you've got different role in this life.
Hey,
Gotta give it to Jesus.
can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Going back to your town, everybody's Christian.
Yeah.
How many churches are there?
2.
2 churches?
Yeah, but every Christmas and New Year, we all combine together.
Okay.
And that's that's a very cultural thing,
Mhm.
right? It's very do everything together.
Mm-hmm.
Even the family unit it's important,
Yeah,
because
very
in America
family
it's
oriented.
different. There is a family thing, but also there's some that aren't.
Yeah. Like
But very close knit.
culturally, if you go to my town, you will see people pray before they eat anytime at the meal, like anything that they eat. Pray before they sleep, and when they wake up, uh, pray before the church service start. Even though we do have the service starting prayer,
Yeah.
you will see people just kind of just very very culturally Christianity. Like everything that you do, no false languages, but obviously there's like kids that don't know like fight around and stuff, but there's not much of stress or like worry that you got to think about. No fights, no suicide or anything like that.
So,
out there.
so with that, how much? So you grow up, and this is not just like a religion; it's also culture
Mhm.
of the people because it's so intertwined, and that's all there is.
Mhm.
How much did you feel that you actually had a relationship with Jesus, or do you feel a lot of it was this is what everybody does, so I just do it? Like, does you get my question? Like,
Yeah, I get it.
especially coming here and then
Yeah.
encountering everything. How was that back home? Did you feel like you had a true relationship with Jesus, or you just followed in what everyone else did?
Back home, I feel like it was at the same time it was so much more easier to be able to accept Jesus because less worries and less problem to worry about.
Temptations, man.
Yes, less temptation. We don't get access to money. We don't get access to alcohol. We don't get access to drugs. The only thing we barely get access to clean water, right? So we have nothing to worry about that would like keep us away from God. But at the same time, more of like a culture thing just because everybody go to church on a certain days or a certain time. But then that also kind of help us in a way, right? I wouldn't say we were brainwashed. We were not brainwashed. Like we were told to read our Bible at a young kid. Like my mom, I remember my mom would like sit down with me and say, "This is what it says, and we have to understand." Like that's a really really good guidance of the way that God has, like Christianity life is like very well established, I would say, in our culture. But at the same time, like from outsider, it would seem like we were brainwashed or something, but we were not. But then just that we seem like we were because we don't have much thing to worry about, if that makes sense.
Sure. That was life.
yeah.
That was a way
That
of
was
life.
like our priority here when I coming here, our priority is like job, work, family, and then God at the bottom. But over there it's like God first and then work. And then it's the opposite. So it's totally different.
Yeah.
I think-
so. You said it wasn't, I think you said this, not much money or didn't really need money.
Mhm.
I mean, what's that like?
It's stress free. Money is great, but at the same time, it can be destroying lives, and it can be very like somebody, especially for maybe if you're reborn Christian, maybe it's easier for you to handle it. But then if you just claim to be a Christian, but make the money be the master of your life, then I think it's difficult. But where I'm from is I don't remember seeing money at all, other than when I go to visit my mom, because my mom does selling stuff, and then she will like I never even see her money. She just buy me something that I want. But in my town, what more we worry about is how can I help my grandparents? I grew up with my grandparents. How can I help the family to achieve what we need to do for today? Like whether it be going to the well and carrying water back to home. That's what we do. But there's no water, running water. We have to go to far away, like 2-3 miles of well, and then bring it back to the home.
Carry it
And then
back.
we had to walk, right? We had to walk like 2-3 times a day. So money wasn't the big problem because we don't see it. So we had to worry about like what can we do to get today's dinner done. That way we can worry about the next thing tomorrow. Just like the Bible said, right? Don't worry about what you're gonna eat tomorrow, what you're gonna wear tomorrow. That's exactly how that is.
Didn't I just say that, guys?
Bro.
Yeah, man.
Bro.
Second time you hear it today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's a sign right there.
Dude, such an upside down world. You just
Oh,
said
man.
we didn't have money, so we were stress free. How about that statement being countercultural?
Oh,
That's an attack on capitalism
Dude.
right there,
Yeah.
right? And then to say we didn't worry about money, we worried about how to help our grandparents. It's completely upside down
Yeah.
world to what most Americans live here today. So I think that's a beautiful
Yeah.
way of living
yeah.
that would probably just thinking about it, if
Yeah,
we're
the
all honest here,
contrast, yeah.
we would stress out about, shoot, what if I had to live your way, I'd probably be stressed out. But you're saying no,
Yeah.
it was the complete opposite.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with my grandparents, but most of the grandparents here in America, many kids don't help them. I think they go to their house so they can get
Help.
paid,
Yeah.
so they can get the allowance, so they can. And so hearing that from you, that that's what you do. It's. I believe we need a change here in America.
Yeah.
We need young people to start valuing the adults. We need young people to start thanking the people who have gone ahead of us and have provided a roof, food, and open the door for them when they go into the market.
Yeah.
Open the door for them for the car. Carry their groceries from Walmart to their car. We need to get back to that.
Yeah.
That's what we're missing here. And because right now in America, we serve money.
There you go.
Money doesn't serve us.
Yeah.
To serve God. So we serve money. And
Serve.
that's why God is at the end of the bucket.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I would like to also say where I'm from is like for guys, like age five to up, is hunting is a big part of their life. Like you will see every 5 and 6 years old with the slingshots hunting birds and hunting anything that they can get to get something to the table, right? That's what the lifestyle. And then like all the girls will be carrying waters. I had to do most of it because of I don't have a sister. Like in my family, we don't have much of girls. I grew up with my grandparents, which my mom sisters has a couple of sisters, like 2-3 sisters that don't get married yet at that time. But still, I had to help them around because my big brother has passed away from hunting. He fell from a tree that he climbed to hunt for the birds. That's where he fell. And then
How old were you?
I don't remember, honestly.
How old was he?
He was 11. 11 years old, climbing the biggest tree in our village. He was hunting and then he had fell from there. And then we couldn't save him because too much blood to the brain, right? We don't have doctor, we don't have medicine, we don't have nothing. Lasts about a week. And then so those are the situations that we face. We lose people, good kids, good fathers and mothers that we could have been like they could have lived, but we lose them because limited access to things that we could have done for them, right? And coming here, like you were saying, we need to start respecting our moms and dad because the culture is so different. Because after a couple of months me being here, even though that time I wasn't reborn yet, I knew like it's totally different and we need to change the way of life. Just because so many things, like I've had friends that were like, you're at back their parents. I would never do that. The way that we use de-escalation in my town is no matter how strong you are, how big of you are, how wealthy you are, the best way to de-escalate things is to get the oldest person in the village to come to talk to that person, and they will immediately stay.
Drop some wisdom
Yeah,
on them.
they will
submit.
that no matter how angry they were, if they see the oldest person in the village,
Respect.
Wow.
they are like, nah, they are calm. You were able to
Interesting.
talk to them like one on one like this, just as normal as you can.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's like a huge respect for the elders. I in Greenwood over there in just recently, I don't know if you guys hear the news. A student beat up a teacher with a laptop.
Yeah, I heard that. I
That
saw
was recently.
Perry Meridian.
Yeah,
Oh my-
I live right next to that. I'm like, how is that even? I would never lay a hand to an elderly person, right? But again, the world doesn't know, right? The world doesn't know about Jesus. But yeah,
Yeah.
about it's just it's amazing coming here.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you
Yeah.
about your brother? You live in a Christian community. When something bad like this happens, what is the response? What is the response to God? What do people say? Like what do you hear people say of
I
why it
hear-
happened and why it happened to your family? All these things. Do those things go around?
Yes. A lot of people says that the specific tree that he was in was like possessed somehow, which we all believed, which is true. It's in this history of our grandparents before they become Christians. But at the same time, when that incident happens, we heard a lot of prayer. Like pretty much the whole village was praying for us. They were praying for his well-being. They would bring things like eggs, right? That helps a lot of people. That helps us family from not being able to go to the farm, right?
Yeah.
The eggs and the chickens and something to help us eat. Something like they will bring like rice, right? Not too much, like this much. They will bring rice. They will bring water for us.
So very supportive.
Yeah, very
In the
supportive.
moment.
Wow.
What do your parents think? Like, why did this happen to us? Why did this happen to our kid? Are those thoughts? Are they questioning God, or is it just God? We trust your
There-
will, and what happened happened.
There is no questions to God from what I learned in my culture, because my grandpa was an evangelist. There was just never question to God. He would
You
say
just accepted
his
it?
will is the ultimate decision, and
Wow.
he is our number one guy that we need. That was my grandpa's response, as well as my grandma. Again, the women is to nurture, to help the family, to cook, to do something, and the man's job is to lead the family and make the farm going on and providing. Right? That was our culture. My dad, however, I didn't grow up in my dad. I don't even remember what year my dad came to the Malaysia, so I don't know how my dad looked like. So I knew that my dad was kind of depressed, and then he became an alcoholic after knowing about my big brother. My mom, however, does what she can to kind of nurture and provide for the family as well.
So the incident with your brother drove your dad into alcoholism.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
he was in Malaysia.
Mhm.
Malaysia is so much more free. He make money again, right? Money was the head of his top. God wasn't the first for him.
So an even different culture.
Yeah, different
over in
culture.
Malaysia.
Malaysia. Pretty much the same here. I lived there for 3 years. So
Mhm.
again, Malaysia doesn't have age restriction to buy alcohol. I used to go and buy for alcohol for my people when I was in
Wow.
Malaysia. Kids can go in and buy. So
Wow.
Malaysia so my dad kind of drinks and have that kind of issue with it to deal with. But now he stopped. Right, he stopped. When we got here, I started turning to Jesus, and my mom's actually doing that. So we actually stopped. But
How did that happen, or how did you find Lord? Was it here in America or was it over there?
I got to meet Jesus personally when I got to America. It was like, you guys might be shocked. Like, how could you grow up in a 100% Christianity culture and you see, Jesus isn't about what your parent believe. He isn't about what your culture believe, or he isn't about what your village believe. He's about your personal relationship. Like,
Amen.
it's personal. People take it wrong. Jesus is personal. You have to accept it as your Lord and Savior. And then you have to allow him to come into your life and rule over things that you were in control of.
Yeah.
You think you're in control of a lot of things, but you're not. When you give him that wield, when you give him that door for him to take it over, that's when everything is different.
So you mean to tell me that you can be in a whole Christian house, country, no temptation, everything about Christianity there, but you still miss Jesus?
It don't matter where you are. You would still miss Jesus.
Until
if
you
don't
got to a culture
Yeah.
that was backwards from that, and then you found
that was
Jesus.
for me. Yes. I was like, wow, like what
Yeah.
is happening, right?
Yeah.
Again, I recite the Bible. My grandparents told me. My mom teach me the Bible. Yes, I still remember. I go to Sunday school. I read the Bibles. I sing the gospel song, but I didn't have a personal relationship. Having a personal relationship with Jesus and doing the culture thing is different. I'm not saying I don't expect America to be like my culture, but I expect America to respect and then be open to knowing Jesus, because
Yeah.
personally he is different than culturally the way that people see him. This
Amen.
is, I want to put it out there.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Dude, so man, there's so many thoughts, questions. Dude,
Yeah,
you're
just,
like-
hey,
I knew
just
this
one
was
at
gonna
a time,
you,
bro.
you
One
just
at a time, bro.
you just brought like a bucket of gold with you, and you're just dropping us wisdom and gold nuggets all over the place. I'm not. So you're far from God. You come here. You're exposed to it. You're free now. You can dabble in whatever you want. How long does that go on for, and how do you start? How do you get back? How do you have this encounter with Jesus?
Oh, it was tough. We had a crusade, and that, I would say that helped tremendously. But at the same time, that wasn't the cause of me knowing Jesus. I actually knew him through me actually wanting to serve him. Like, I play music at churches. I do audio stuff. So there's many times that I stay at church until like 2 to 3, 4 a.m. to pray. I would stay there doing sound when I can't figure out anything. I don't have enough equipment. I don't have the budget to support myself. I just stay there and pray, right? 14, 15 years old. That's what I do.
Dude, stop. We could end the podcast right now.
Yeah, that's
and,
enough.
and we have enough to like.
Uh,
Thank you, dude.
Oh,
Thank you for being
man.
here. Keep going. I'm sorry.
But I would stay there for until and like till the morning and just pray to God, like, how can I know you closer? Like, my grandpa know you, he serve you well. Like, my grandpa would go to like a different town and preach about Jesus, and then he would go with shoes and pants and shirt. And then by the time he come back, he would be shoesless, pantsless, shirtless, because he gave it out to the people that's needed.
Wow.
And my mom would be so mad. They would be like, "We got you a gift. Why would you give it out?" They didn't understand.
Yeah.
But now my mom
Somebody had a
started to
need.
realize whatever my grandpa did was the fruit of the goods.
Yeah.
Like, he had to
Spirit,
do
yeah.
that. That way we could be here. Like, I think that was part of it, right?
Wow.
So that's how my mom started seeing things now. I'm like, yeah, you should know that you guys should know that, right? Even I knew that when I got here.
Yeah.
Again, knowing Jesus was a big part of my life, because again, like, I was going around doing all this thing. Like, I love fighting, right? I like in high school and middle school in Maryland, I fight a lot. When like one time I got jumped and I got so mad. I did a little bit of Muay Thai and I did a little bit of Taekwondo.
Yeah.
So I got so mad. And
Can you practice some with Andy over I'll watch.
So every time I go out of the bus, teachers would be like, like a celebrity blocking me so that I don't fight people, because people waiting to fight me, right? So that's the situation that I was in. And then come around 2017 and 18, my church started hosting a lot of crusade from the pastor from our villages, and then I started listening to that, a lot of them, and they helped me tremendously. And then me studying Bible, reading it, and then just kind of trying to connect to Jesus personally. and I ask him. And again, my mom, every time, she'll wake up early and pray for me, making sure that I know him. Her main prayer was that, Lord, help him so that he may know you. I think that was like the main thing that led me to Jesus, and that's how I met him. I and after that, I was able to let go of all the lust that I have, all of the desire to go to outside. Like my friend would be calling me like, let's play soccer and let's play this, let's go this. But me, I was like, I'd rather stay home and practice worship songs. Right? That was me. I had like one keyboard, cheap Yamaha keyboard, and I would just play worship songs on there. I would rather do that than go out and do whatever that my friends are doing.
Yeah. Your desires.
Yeah,
changed.
things that I want change, things that I see changes. The way that I see things, the way my perception in things in life changes. So that was big part of how I met Jesus. Big shout out to my mom, my dad for always praying for me. And also wanted to point out when I was in Malaysia, waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning, right? Because I used to play soccer in Malaysia. 5 is when we start our practice, and 4 a.m. I wake up. I wasn't like fully awake yet. I heard my grandparents praying for me. They're in another side of the world. Clearly, I heard both of them praying, shouting out to the Lord, right?